want to talk about one more player, and that's Russell Wilson. Dan, you and I talked about it a little bit on Monday, and I want you to go through it. How would you describe the way he is playing right now?
Playing really good. 3 reasons why. Number one, the play-action pass screen game. That's Sean Payton's, it's a staple. So you get the formation into the boundary, you clear it out with the routes, and then you've got one-on-one with the back, and their backs have become really good pass catchers, and their offensive line's got a pretty good feel for it. They need to hit that tonight against Kansas City. Number 2, Jerry Jeudy at the number 3 spot. That's the wide receiver closest to the ball. It gives him route running flexibility, two-way goes. They got the receivers up at the top. They kind of lock down defenders and then see that route. You know, Harry knows this. When you get a two-way go, the route running becomes primary. Jerry Jeudy's really good at that. I want to see that more. That's something that they've done really well for Russell Wilson. And then Marvin Mims, their second-round pick out of Oklahoma, has become their big play guy. 8-man protection. This is the only way that they have the time to throw the ball downfield. It's something that Russell's very comfortable with. Bottom of the screen, Sutton takes the low defender, and then Mims for that big field post. Russell Wilson takes the shot downfield. He's become a little bit like his Tyler Lockett was when he was in Seattle. So Russell Wilson is very much so playing the way that I expected him to play this year, maybe just a little bit better. The screen game's been there. He's used his legs. He's gotten the ball to the backs. Jerry Jeudy at that number 3 spot because I think, again, that gives him that two-way go. And then Marvin Mims down the field has absolutely shown up.
That pass to Jeudy you showed was on a 3rd and 14, by the way, in a critical spot in the game. So that was good. I once again, I defer completely to your expertise in all of this. When I watch them play, and one of the things that you have to take into account is their defense has been so historically bad.
Their defense has given up 21 touchdowns and forced 10 punts.
They're the worst in the National Football League right now.
By far.
They're on pace to being one of the worst in history. That sort of skews things. What I was expecting to see, and again, this is why I think it's so valuable for someone like you to be able to explain this, because I can't be the only one who feels like I'm seeing this, is that it does not look in rhythm. Like you showed a bunch of good plays there. Yes, those were good plays.
Sure.
But as you watch over the course of a game, it feels like he's constantly like 1, 2, 3, ball's not coming out. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. It doesn't look comfortable to me. Not as much he doesn't look good as he doesn't look comfortable, which was really what I meant on Monday. Am I seeing that wrong?
No, I would say it's probably at like a 6.5, 7 out of 10 right now when you're looking to see what it exactly looks like. Number 1, their offensive line is not a very good unit. The pass protection's not consistent. 2, Russell Wilson, he just isn't a get it out quickly type of thrower. And so you're trying to get him to do that a little bit more. It's not who he is. And so you're living in this world of trying to create that consistent rhythm. It's not there, but Russell Wilson is significantly better than he was last year.
So, in fairness to Russell, his numbers against Patrick Mahomes are essentially identical.
We can put that up,
except
Kmart.
Russell has 2 less interceptions than Mahomes. That being said, Russell is being paid, and the amount of money given to Russell, the amount of players given up for Russell, the amount of draft picks given up for Russell, he's supposed to take a team where, hey, man, if there are injuries, he's supposed to overcome injuries. He can't overcome a terrible defense. But when we look at the quarterbacks in the NFL, everything's not going to be easy. Everything's not going to be perfect. So how do you elevate your squad? And what you were looking at in Russell is a guy who won 4 games last year with Nathaniel Hackett. The record right now is worse with Sean Payton than it was with Nathaniel Hackett at this point last year. And you are paying a guy to be a difference maker. So the same rubric that we have for Lamar and Josh Allen and these Joe Burrows and all these guys that are asked to be upper echelon dudes, if you're going to get paid, then compensate for the deficiencies. And so when you say it's not in rhythm, when you say it's a work in progress, but also, Russell, how do you make this team, how do you elevate this team above the holes and deficiencies that they have? And that's what we're not always seeing. I mean, they're 1-4.
Listen, the beauty of football is, like, you're only as good as the guys you're playing next to, right? Yeah. It's hard for, like, I don't care who you have back at court. You got Joe Montana or whatever. It's hard to elevate a team with that bad of a defense. Offensive line stinks. It's just hard. I think when we talk about Russell Wilson, everything is in comparison to what the compensation was for the contract.
What is it supposed to be about?
What do you mean? What it's supposed to be? What's the true expectation? What's the true expectation?
That is the question. What Kmart is saying, I believe, if I may, Kmart is saying, when you give up what they gave up to get him, and you're paying him what you're paying him, the expectation is not just to be good.
There. We can go there, Daniel. Where do you want to go?
Wait a minute. But what's the real expectation here, guys? Like, we got to have a serious and honest conversation
is why
here.
did the Jets bring in Aaron Rodgers to win a Super Bowl?
Right.
Why did the Broncos bring in Russell Wilson to win a Super Bowl?
Okay, now look at where the defense was last year compared to this year.
Why is that? I mean,
that's coaching. That's coaching.
Defense is giving up 36 a game. The offense is scoring 26 a game. Here's my thing with, I said this before the year. It feels like people are just like, if I had to pick one player in the NFL that I want to fail, here's what I'm saying. We cannot hold Russell Wilson to the standard of what is your performance like given what we gave up to get you and how much we pay you and not do it with other quarterbacks.
No. I'm saying it should be consistent.
But we don't.
No.
Well, who don't we do it with?
We didn't do it with the guy who played on Sunday night.
Dallas?
Absolutely.
Oh, I think we do. I think we talk pretty.
Sir.
We talk more about Dak. How many times have I said Dak is whack?
No, this doesn't have to become about Dak Prescott or the Cowboys. We don't do it with certain guys, and we do it like we hold Russell to this as we should. I'm a believer that it's okay for us to talk about quarterbacks in relation to what we pay them or the expectation, but we don't do that with other guys. We're not doing it with Daniel Jones this year. We're not.
You talking about the Big Apple turnover?
We're not.
Yes, I have.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
There hasn't been no Danny Dimes. He's been the Big Apple turnover. I said it before the season, and that's what he's been this season. Sorry, Devin Kane, Shannon Penn, my producers on ESPN Radio. But the quarterback, Daniel Jones, has not been good this year.
Dan, you talked about the Denver Broncos offense is averaging 26 points per game.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
What if the Denver Broncos defense, they had the defense from last year? You know what the Broncos, they would be undefeated
They would
probably.
be 3-2.
They would be
At
3
worst.
At worst,
Because they got 70 hung on them.
I just feel like there's a lot of hate going towards, like unnecessary hate going towards Russell Wilson right now.
I don't have hate towards Russell. It's
Right.
just when you do give up a lot of compensation, draft compensation for a quarterback that you felt like your team was a quarterback away, and it doesn't look like that, then I gotta hold him accountable for that.
But what does it not look like?
What do we expect here?
Question. How many points were they just down to go against the Jets to try to go tie the game up and win?
They were down 3.
Yeah,
Okay, and what happened?
He fumbled.
He turned the ball over.
Okay.
Harry, here's my thing.
Oh boy.
And the coach yelled at him coming out of the sideline saying he should have dumped it off to somebody. I don't know. I mean, it's final word, Danny, go.
Russell Wilson is doing everything that he should be doing given what's around him to play winning football. It is a team game. If Russell Wilson had a bad defense, they would be 3-2. If he had a bad defense.
That's the standard for these we should be looking at them all the same.
No, we should be looking at them in a group of how much they're making.
Right. Those guys that are highly compensated, that's how we should be judging them. I agree with you. Look at them on the compensation, but I don't think it's about hate. But we do judge Lamar. We do judge Dak.
So now we expecting Russell Wilson to overcome a historically bad defense. Is that what we're talking about now? Is that what we're talking about here?
A lot of quarterbacks would be 1-4 in Denver.
You know
what have Russ did this year that's splashy to y'all?
You know what would be a great show? If everyone could hear our producer in my ear, who has been saying 30 seconds to me for the last 4.5 minutes, and I'm doing everything I can, Artie. I'm doing everything I can. All offseason, I said the most interesting thing in the league is going to be what that offense looks like with Odell, with this rookie everybody loves, with the new offensive coordinator.
And Rashad Bateman being healthy.
Well,
yes.
He's never healthy, but that's a whole other thing. What do we think? What so far is the prognosis, Kmart?
I mean, well, it's a grade of incomplete so far. I think the issue for the Ravens is consistency and availability because they've had a lot of injuries. The wide receiving core, that's what I was so excited about. Just like you, Greeny, I thought this is going to be it because Lamar has been the quarterback who's been asked to do so much with so little, right? From a wide receiving standpoint. He finally has reinforcements. People are injured. They can't stay healthy. And when they finally are on the field, they can't catch anything. And Lamar is great at saying, you know what? I don't need to say anything to them. They know they need to be better. But it is hard to gauge what this Todd Monken offense is supposed to look like when the guys haven't been on the field together very much. And when they are on the field, I don't know. I know Rex was really upset about the rugby balls and the catching rugby balls when the football is But it's unfortunate because the thing that excited us has been disappointing
Look,
thus far.
the Ravens have won all 5 of their games this year. The problem is they just won 2 of them for the other team. I mean, that's legitimately been the situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, D Wood, is this? She said incomplete.
Yeah.
Are you confident this thing is going to get where we all thought it might?
Yes, I do. Listen, self-inflicted is what I describe the Baltimore Ravens right now, particularly on offense. When you have that, 8 drops in a game, like how often does that happen in the National Football League when you got guys that can't catch a cold they gave that game away against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think Todd Monken and this offense, they're going to work things out. They got the players to do it. A lot of these guys haven't been available. When you're not available, you don't have the rhythm that you're supposed to have offensively. So I'm not worried about them.
I'm not as confident as I wish I was. I think the Ravens are a really good team that have given me reason to doubt how great they can be this year. And I hate saying that. So, number one, this is not on Lamar. I've heard people kind of say, like, are they getting enough out of Lamar?
Yes.
Last week, there's another 200 yards left on the field and 3 touchdowns.
Right.
I doubt them in some ways because of that, though. I doubt them because I've been waiting for like 3 years now for that level of consistency to show up. And while they are playing good football, Greeny, they have given away 2 games.
Yeah.
How many other teams in the AFC do we feel that way? The Bills gave away week 1, haven't done it since. So it's like everyone asks, where are the Ravens? A really good football team, but it's hard for me to truly place them into that conversation of the Kansas Cities and the Miami and the Buffalo in the AFC. Because of is Odell going to be healthy? Is Bateman going to be healthy? Is Zay Flowers going to take that next step? Is Ronnie Stanley going to be healthy and get to that level? Are they not going to give games away with late turnovers? I don't have those questions about those other teams. I want to absolutely buy in and believe that they are who I thought they were going to be this offseason. I can't get there right now.
The self-inflicted wounds are what's really bothering me right now. When I watched that game against Indy, whether it was a snap, whether it was a fumble, whether it was Lamar Jackson and not Zay Flowers not being on the same page when it came to man a zone.
Yes.
When it was third downs and certain things are happening because everyone isn't in unison on the same page. And then I looked at that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Literally, the Baltimore Ravens have opened the door for the Cincinnati Bengals because that's 2 games. This team literally should be 5-0 right now.
Right.
But I would say this, Lamar Jackson can't throw it and catch it.
Right.
I know a lot of people want to blame Lamar, but my goodness, and I said this on radio when I called the Ravens and Browns game. As long as Lamar Jackson's on the football field, the Ravens have a chance.
No doubt.
When he's not on that football field, I don't give them any chance whatsoever because that defense is playing outstanding right now. But as far as guys dropping passes, listen, I've been there before. I've been there in practice. I've been there in games. You got to get back to the fundamentals. You got to get back to the basics. And one of the things I do know, you can't be catching a rugby ball because a rugby ball is different from a football. Exactly. Listen, I love rugby. I travel with the USA Rugby Sevens girls, women's and men's team. But you can't, if you're playing football, catch a rugby
The wide
football.
receivers got to get on the field and they got to catch the ball. If they do that for a string, then the Ravens can get into that conversation.